Yeah.
Guess who's pizzazz? Yeah. It's not Beanie Sieg or J-Ho.
Nope, it's not Beanie Sieg or J-Hove or G-Unit or 50 Cent. Nah, it's Bruce in the Format Podcast. And you know who I got with me? I got my main man, Big Red. What's good, Big Red?
What's going on, y'all?
Chilling. And I got my main man, the Transformer. Transformer, what's popping, bro?
Transformer is here, man. Going good. How about
There
y'all?
Chilling. So, are you an Autobot or a Decepticon? I never asked you that before.
Man, I'm my own thing, bro. I'm my own thing.
Your
man.
own thing. What? Dinobot, Constructicon?
You know
what?
I got my own planet, bro. My own planet off over yonder. You know what I mean?
Does that mean you just trans instead?
Chill. Hey, mute Big Red mic, bro. Go ahead and mute his mic.
Anything you want. Okay, I ain't gonna get you canceled, man. Let me quit.
Maybe Unicron just going around eating up planets.
Eating up planets.
That's what LeBron does. He goes to each team and eats them up.
All right, let's relax. All right, guys. Man, how y'all doing out there, man?
There we go.
Good, but we didn't even make it 2 minutes.
Damn.
That was 1 minute and 32 seconds, y'all.
Yo, but this time it wasn't me.
I wasn't on the show last time. I didn't get to get it out, so I'm sorry.
All right, Joel. So you know G's gonna be in here in a few minutes, man. He's running behind, but let's go ahead and get it started. We got some good topics for y'all tonight, man. As you can see, we're gonna talk some football, NFL, definitely, because tomorrow night is the Hall of Fame game. So preseason is here. AJ, what's good, brother? What's good, man? Good to see you in here. Appreciate you. But yeah, tomorrow night's the Hall of Fame game, and so we're definitely gonna have some good football talk, because that means the NFL season, and of course college is upon us, but today's not a college day, it's just an NFL day. We're going to talk, of course, since we're in the Olympics, we're going to talk about some Team USA men's basketball doing their thing, and we're going to have some very interesting commentary from Carmelo Anthony from his recent appearance on the podcast, where he had some real interesting thoughts that I definitely had some things I wanted to talk about. All right. But before we get to all that, you know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to take it to the final topic here. This was one that really this is one that really had me interested. So I definitely want to take it to this. So I thought this was Carmelo Anthony was recently on the podcast with Paul George, and he was telling his story on a lot of things, but he talked about why he never joined up with LeBron and those guys on the super teams. And I thought that this was really interesting because it kind of gave us a look into Melo's mindset and his mentality, and also gave us a look into how this super team thing in the modern era kind of came to be, right? And so the first thing I want to touch on, right? And me and Transformer, we've been back and forth on this, because he always talks about, and I've heard this from other people as well, what LeBron did going into Miami was in direct response to the Boston Celtics bringing the big three together, right? And I've always said that, number one, it's not the same thing, because player-generated super teams and organization-generated quote-unquote super teams are not the same thing, right? Because if you're a player on a team and the organization puts players around you, you're just playing with what you got. Whatever they give you, that's what you play with. You didn't, go behind the scenes or through, backdoor channels trying to manipulate the roster to make things easier, right? To grease the skids. And I truly believe that those are two different things, right? So, but the bigger thing is, now we're going to hear Melo talk, and we're going to find out that these moves that LeBron was making, the Celtics did not it was not in response to the Celtics. So Melo actually inadvertently kills that whole narrative. But we're definitely going to talk about it, and this is interesting. So I cut some pieces of the interview, so we're going to listen to that, and after each one, we're going to come back and talk about it. So I think it was really interesting. Y'all ready to go ahead and check that out?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So the first one is kind of evidential that LeBron was he had the super team thing in mind pretty much from the very beginning. So let's hear what Melo had to say here.
With Bron, it was always like, yo, we got to make it happen. Like some way, somehow, the opportunity comes, let's make it happen. Mm-hmm. We just never knew where. You know what I mean? Like we could fuck around with each other, but where? And you going to New York? Like, I ain't going to Cleveland, nigga. Like, you coming to Denver? Like, I ain't going to Cleveland, shit. So it was just like, as friends and like competitors growing up together, it's like, yeah, we want to, I would love to play with PG on this team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kel on this team. But that was always just like a what if of being Bron.
Right.
Then the conversation got serious after like 06, 07, 08 with the big three. So they were supposed to go, it was supposed to be Bosh and Wade, and then me and Bron, like going somewhere. We just couldn't find out where. And we wanted it to be New York.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Somewhere. Or Chicago. Chicago was in the fold.
Okay. With you and Bron?
Me and Bron. But I was like, if we gonna find a place, then let it be go to Chicago. Like,
all right, so the first thing here, right? You hear what he says, how basically LeBron was talking about it pretty much from the beginning, right? So LeBron comes in the league all those guys came in the league in 03, right? And so he says it really starts getting serious about 06. So 3 years in, right? We keep hearing the Celtics did it first, so that's why LeBron did it. So now we already know that's a lie. That's a falsehood. We know that. So you can stop pushing that fake narrative. That's over now. We know that. Melo put it out there. So we know from the beginning, LeBron was already trying to put this thing in motion, right? He wanted to team up from jump, and then he starts getting serious in 06. And I think that's probably around the time when all those guys played together for the first time in FIBA, right? 06, I believe, when they got that bronze, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that was the team that Larry Brown coached. So let's start right there. I'm gonna be quiet now. And Big Red, you haven't had much to say, so let's give your thoughts on Melo's kind of opening there with this first part.
I mean, I think it pretty much speaks for itself. The culture was sparked right then and there. That the team up culture, which I think has destroyed the NBA thus far, because we don't see the competitiveness amongst most of the teams that are playing well. Actually, now, I think since we got so much parity now, we finally see some competitiveness, because we don't see one team we can just guarantee is going to win the championship. But from 06 up until the Celtics did it, and then up until LeBron James made the announcement that he was going to go to the Heat, you start seeing that KD, that led to be the impetus for KD wanting to leave. Like, well, LeBron did it, the Celtics did it, and other teams started wanting to team up. KD going to the Brooklyn Nets and teaming up with Kyrie and James Harden, or James Harden going to team up with Embiid and such like that. But I think that was the impetus. People were hearing around the league that LeBron wanted to leave and team up with other superstar teammates. And he just made it easier for people not to feel ashamed or have pride to leave their hometown team that they started off with, like they did in the years before. That was the start of it, and you see what the league is now. I think it's getting back to how it was before, only because of contracts. You get paid so much, and it's hard to divvy up the money now to create a super team and have to divvy up between three people. Unless you make a homegrown team, it's hard to form a super team with three superstar athletes to divvy up that money. They don't want to do it now. They want as much money as they can. And it's hard to keep a team together that long as the Miami Heat were. It was 4 years, I think.
4 years, yeah.
It's different because of contract negotiations have changed that, not necessarily because of pride. but I think it is starting to slowly kind of go back to where it was pre-2000s, 90s, and all that type of stuff. So,
okay. G, your thoughts, and then we'll go to the Transformer.
Yeah. So, I mean, so listening to that, it just made me feel like that, not only was Braun on that bullshit, but Melo was on it as well, right? And so much to what Red had to say, I think it was one of those moves where, the players kind of got around, was like, hey, look, we need to max out these contracts. And they did. And so building that super team pushed the salaries up now to the point where I think this is the most NBA players has been getting paid. And most of it is to, the fact that they want to be able to build those super teams without having a superstar take a pay cut. And so I think it's that. I mean, it's some horseshit at the same time because you lose that competitive aspect of the game when you run into a player that or a team, I should say, that doesn't have that firepower on their either bench and or on their roster. And so, I mean, you look at Paul George, right? Like, not Paul George, yeah, Paul George. We can say Chris Paul, Paul George. All these players that they find themselves in these positions where they get hurt a lot, and for the most part, when your superstar get hurt, that's the end of your season. And so having that second and third option to be able to carry your team deep in the playoffs, from an owner perspective, that's probably why they was like, okay, we can do this because how often have they ran into a situation where that player wasn't available due to injury and they had to depend on that second or third option. And so Braun and Melo and what I'm saying, the whole New York situation where if they would have got Chris Paul, they would have been in a different place. The league blocked that, right? And so
I think
what I'm looking at,
blocked Chris Paul going to the Lakers to play with Kobe.
They blocked him from going to New York to play with Melo and Stoudemire. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't.
Go back and look at it. Yeah, so
okay.
Remember, they didn't even have a point guard when Melo was there with Stoudemire. And that they paid Melo. I mean, they pay Stoudemire like $100 million, and he do nothing but take like baths and wine, and he ain't had that true point guard. I forget who their point guard was during the time, but they was trying to get Raymond Felton, right? They were supposedly had got Chris Paul, and that was going to be their big three around the same time that Chris Bosh and Wade and them formed their big three. And so this just bring lights to a whole bunch of shenanigans that was happening in the backfield or in the background with these young players. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, go back and look at that, man. The league blocked Chris Paul from going to the Knicks. I was a Knicks fan at the time. I really thought he was going to go there, but he didn't.
Okay. Transformer, go ahead, bro. Can't hear you. You muted.
I've been talking this whole time. Y'all just gonna sit here and let me be on mute.
I was like, this dude over here talking to himself.
No, I was saying, what year was this? You muted.
Gee, you muted, bro.
Same year Stoudemire was there. It was Stoudemire, Melo, and they was trying to get Chris Paul, but they stopped the trade.
2011?
2011.
Yeah, 2011, right? Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know about that one.
I knew they blocked the one going to the Lakers.
Yeah, that was David Stern. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Give him his holiness upstairs. But I hated him for that. I hated him for that. My take on it, man. I'm a little confused. He said 06. They had this conversation in 06.
Well, they had the conversation prior to that, but he said it started getting serious around 06.
It got serious in 06. So LeBron had to be 21 years old. Dwayne Wade just won his championship.
Right.
I don't see that being a serious conversation at that time.
Well, we can only go by what Melo said, right? Melo said it started getting serious around 06. That's what Melo said. We can only go by what he said, right? He's telling the story. He was there. We weren't.
People tell stories, but man, I need more input on that. Because I mean, it just doesn't make sense of a conversation to be had when you're only 21 years old at this time. You having Dwayne Wade just win a championship. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
I'm trying not to take it here. I'm trying not to. but
Can we talk about baby Bron at this point?
It don't make sense to you because you don't want it to make sense.
No, it legit don't.
We're hearing Melo say that LeBron has been talking about this from the very beginning. So clearly he wasn't a dude that was built to be that guy and say, I'm gonna go out here and get it however I gotta get it, right? Well, no, correction. I guess he is saying I'm gonna get it however I gotta get it. Right. But clearly we see that he's not that one. Oh wow, okay. Check that out. But yeah, all right. So let's do this. Let's go on to the next clip where we hear some more of what Melo had to say. Then we'll come back.
So at the time of the collective bargaining agreement, again, I wasn't as educated on the game, on the business of the game, on the business of the sport. So I didn't understand contracts and 3 years, 5 years, you know what I mean? Shit like that, lockout. I knew a little bit, but I wasn't really business savvy enough to understand what was about to happen. So in my situation, I was in Denver. We was in the playoffs every year. We was 50 plus wins. Like we was building something in Denver. So I didn't want to leave. So why take a 3-year deal? No, I'm locked into this 5-year deal. And it was like 5 years, like 85, some shit like that. Right. And I got ridiculed for taking a 5-year deal. Like what? You know where the fuck I come from? I'm not leaving no money on the table. But this was me at that, at that age. Like I'm not leaving no money on the table. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm winning. I'm in Denver. We building something.
All right. So now Melo is talking about building, right? So he's good. They're building, and I remember this. Denver was pretty good at this time. I believe Melo had them in the playoffs as a rookie, right? 8th seed, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Melo, he's doing his thing. Cool. Yeah. Go ahead, Transformer. You said something?
No, I was saying,
okay.
I agree.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Yeah. So he's doing his thing. He's trying to build. Meanwhile, LeBron is trying to build a plan in his mind to team up and form super teams. Okay, cool. When he was already, by this time, he's moving into that upper echelon, that upper stratosphere of the elite players in the league, right? And we see this going on. So it's like, okay, why couldn't you? I like what Melo is saying here. I like how he's saying he's building in Denver. So at this point, he doesn't want to leave, right? And also he's saying he's not necessarily savvy when it comes to the contracts and coming where he's coming from. He's not trying to leave 2 years worth of millions on the table. And I totally understand that. Thoughts from you guys. Big Red, what you got, man?
Well, I was going to say, this is what, 06. Is that the 3rd year for LeBron by that time?
Yeah, he came in 03.
Okay. So, I mean, first 2 years he didn't make the playoffs, right?
Correct.
Okay. So maybe at some point he was thinking Cleveland, and he probably doesn't love Cleveland, even though he's from there. He's probably starting to think, well, maybe I need to get an exit strategy out of here and team up with somebody. I know eventually he did go to the finals and they lost to the Spurs in 07, I think. But maybe that was in the back of his mind that we're struggling right now. And I don't know what Dan Gilbert his plans going forward. He's going to give me a good coach out here or not. And maybe that was in the back of his mind. Like, hey, Wade, Carmelo, whoever else. I don't think it was Bosh at that time.
Yeah, I don't remember Bosh being in that conversation.
Right.
If Melo
we might need to find a good team that we can all team up together with. And maybe Miami because they're warm and have good weather. And Pat Riley, who wasn't, I don't know if he was still the coach then, I think. He thought about possibly teaming up all together there, getting Melo to come over there. There's a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't think Melo is lying. I don't know if his timing's off, but I don't think he's lying.
No. Yeah, that's what I don't agree with the timing of it. Like the timing just doesn't quite make sense to me.
Early, right?
Yeah, because I'm like, Wade just won a championship in 06. Bron makes it to the finals in 07. I don't think this how is this a serious conversation? Now I get it if we all scuttlebutt and it's like, Bill, it'd be cool, it'd be dope if we teamed up or something like that. Like seeing that we played together in the FIBA tournament and stuff like that. But like that time just don't quite make sense. Now if you was to tell me like 09, 2010, okay, I would get where Carmelo coming from, but 06, it just don't make sense.
Unless he had the mindset of like a KD then. KD just went to the Western Conference Finals. Unless he had a mindset like that, that's the only reason it would make sense. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
like I said. If Melo was to have this conversation in 09, like said this conversation happened in 09, said like right before LeBron made that move to go to Miami, then I'm like, okay, you know what I mean?
But based on what we've seen from LeBron throughout these years, why does it seem so outrageous to you that he wouldn't want to compete and that he was already looking for some way to grease the skids? Why does that seem so outrageous to you?
Because it's super early. It's super early in all of their careers. It's super early. And Wade, like you just witnessed Wade win a title. So why are you talking like, hey man, let's leave Miami, go to Chicago, go to New York? You just won a title. Why am I telling you as my friend? Because they're good friends at this point.
At that point, D Wade was probably like, shoot, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I just came off a chip, right? D Wade was probably like, I'm good at that point. But LeBron is saying, I don't know. How can I win? How can I make this easier? That's how I see it. I could be wrong. I could be just, having a negative outlook, but I'm just based on what I've seen from this dude all these years. I don't see him as being like somebody who truly wanted to compete. But, yeah. So, because and the fact that
when
he
you
was
say
talking
all
about it
these
from the
years, I
beginning.
don't mean to cut you off, Bruce.
Yeah,
When you say all these years, it's only been one instance where he made a super team like that. And that was the Miami Heat. So you can't after 2014. What's your conversation then?
Well,
he goes to Cleveland.
Well, he goes to Cleveland, right? He's got Kyrie there, so he had Kyrie in place already. And then remember, he did the Wiggins trade to get Kevin Love, who was second team All NBA, averaging 25 and 12. So what up, man? Down Mel, what's good, bro?
Amongst the OGs.
Oh man. But
top 10? Top 10? Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
Nick, you a wild dude, man. Yeah, I guess. They cut me, man. They cut me. So I got to go back.
You ain't even last 24 hours.
You got to at least finish the shift before you get the check.
I know, right? But yeah, though. So when it comes to when it comes to this thing, when I say, so remember when he went back to Cleveland, that's what I was saying. He had Kyrie there. So Kyrie, that's two. Kevin Love was a second team All NBA guy, 25 and 12. And so, and at one point, 24 and 15, right?
Yeah.
And so he's looking at him and saying, okay, I got another veteran putting up big numbers. Let me grab him, pull him in. That's him attempting to make another super team, right?
But then, Kyrie wasn't that Kyrie yet, though.
Well, Kyrie wasn't he? What, 21?
It was like his third season.
He was already Kyrie. He wasn't 25 a game, 27 a game, Kyrie, but he was still getting busy. Yeah,
he was getting busy. No questions
and
asked.
LeBron clearly saw, this is the dude that can help me.
Yeah.
So he tried to do that
for a while.
But to the stratosphere of like going with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, like to me that wasn't quite as similar. Like I get what you're saying. He went to go get Kevin Love. Yeah. That's quite a good pickup. But we're talking young Kyrie at this point, who wasn't doing nothing in Cleveland because them boys couldn't win 25 games a season. I think that was the most that Kyrie won that year.
Well, true, but let's think about this, right? If we're fair, Kevin Love, when he was in Minnesota, he was putting up better numbers than Chris Bosh in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of does like even out to be like that level of super team. Now, is Kevin Love going to go down in history the way Bosh and Wade? No, but you see what I'm saying? This is him trying to put that together. But let's go ahead and listen to the next clip from Melo talking about this.
I want to leave this to go do something that I might regret later down the line. And also at that time, I wasn't ready to go partner and team up with nobody because I was building my own shit in Denver. So to leave my own shit and go team up with somebody, it wouldn't have worked because we were all young and and we all going down our own path. So I'm over here. Like whatever y'all gonna do, y'all gonna do. So I get the call when they say, yo, it's a lockout's coming. Yo, we taking a 3-year deal. Right? So let me think about that. Hit y'all back, man. Hit y'all back. Call my agent at the time, which was I think I was with Bill Duffy at the time. and Calvin Andrews. And I'm like, 3-year deal. Yo, bro, it's no conversation. I'm staying. I'm taking a 5-year 85. I'm staying in Denver. I'm happy, boom, boom. So they was trying to finagle how to make that shit work. And then it was like, I think one of them had to take like 16 and the other one 17 and the other one like, you know what I mean? Like all of them had to really sacrifice, which I take my hat off to them for doing that because that's hard as shit to leave at that point in time in your career, young like that. We all was at the top of the game.
Right.
And just say fuck all of that and come together, like nobody was thinking about that.
So, first, I really love that Melo is really kind of just telling his
Selfish.
story in one.
Selfish.
Say again?
Selfish. No,
Selfish.
Go ahead.
You already know. Man Down Sports says LeBron left Wade for having bad knees to get a younger co-star in Kyrie. Love and Kyrie were the younger version of Wade and Bosh. Exactly. J.R. Smith was the younger Ray Allen. That's a great analogy. LeBron duplicated what he had. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point, Man Down. And so, real quick, to the point of LeBron, and this was supposed to be more about Melo just telling the story and me enjoying him breaking down what happened. But to that point, bringing up LeBron leaving Miami, right? This is the thing. Like, everyone pushes this LeBron is so great narrative. And one thing that really bothers me is because, like, LeBron is a dude that clearly will he uses people to his own ends. And when they don't satisfy his ends anymore, like, he has no use for them, right? And I know, okay, I'm hating again, whatever, right? But D-Wade was supposed to be his boy, right? That's like supposed to be his brother. He went there. He taught him how to win. He was there with him through his first couple of years, every press conference, blah, 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 right? When LeBron decided he was going to leave, D-Wade didn't even know until he was gone. Like, who does that?
Yeah,
who does that? Like, what'd you say, Big Red?
I said that was cold.
That's cold, right? That's supposed to be your boy. That's supposed to be your ace moon coon, right? Boy. Like, yeah, why would you? Like, if I'm D-Wade, I got nothing more to say to you after that. Like, we went through it for 4 years, right? And you just going to skate, and I got to hear it from somebody else. You couldn't even come talk to me. That says to me, yo, I was just here for your uses, and when I was done and I couldn't help you win chips no more, oh, that was it. I was of no more use to you, you know. So you just, you know what I'm saying? Or am I? Let me ask you this: am I overreacting in my assessment of that situation?
For the public perception that they've given off, that they're like the boys, they're best friends, and they hang out with each other all the time. They call each other in the middle of the night. It sure didn't seem like that towards the end of the tenure in Miami. And even after that, I mean, just some things with, I don't know. I don't see them commenting on each other about each other's families. You know what's going on with Wade's family. I don't hear LeBron really say anything, about, good wishes or bad wishes about his family. They're just kind of separate now. I don't see them in public like that anymore. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're boy. It was just a business relationship.
Yeah. Transformer, your thoughts, man. You think I'm overreacting and how I'm seeing that thing?
I mean, I think it's fair. I do think it's fair. You know what I mean? If I'm over here and won a couple of championships, which you can give me that time of day to have that conversation about you leaving. Yeah, it's like, okay, we friends? Like we real friends? You know what I mean? So no, I mean, I think that premise about it is fair.
Okay.
And he had to take a pay cut, to bring you over. So
facts. Like,
he definitely could have got the max.
Right. The least you could have done if we were supposed to be tight, like you saying, is that, you could have told me. I ain't have to hear it from elsewhere. But hey, it is what it is. All right. And finally, this is the last part of the clip with Melo. I thought this was really good. This is the one that stood out to me.
I would never ever do that to myself. Look at that and be like, damn, I could have.
Not from a jealousy standpoint.
Yeah, no, just even as a competitive standpoint, damn, I could have been down to this. I can't do that because I knew I was intentional when I got to New York on what I wanted to do. I knew they was down there. Okay, if I could come to New York and we can make this work, we gonna compete against them.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna give them a run, and let's see what happens. Yeah. Let's build something. Like let's start to build in New York to go. We know that at the end of the day, these next couple of years, we gotta
Yeah,
That's what we got.
yeah.
That's what we want to meet up there with them.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like nobody had that plan. Right? Like I was the only one had the mindset
right.
of looking at it like that. But I'm like, I'm taking the darts for it. Being selfish, no defense, bad coach, not coachable. Ran my way out of Denver. Got to New York. They said I should have left after when I was a free agent. I should have went to Chicago, they say. I would have had a ring. You get what I'm saying? It was always, you would have did this, you would have had this.
So, all right, y'all know what stood out to me, because it's the same thing that I always talk about. What did he say? As a competitor, I couldn't have done that. What are y'all thoughts on that? I'm gonna leave it there, because y'all.
But he went to New York to build the same thing.
Say again.
Oh,
He went to New York to do the same thing.
Did he go to New York to do the same thing?
I mean, because according to G, Chris Paul was supposed to be a part of him and Stoudemire. So he's saying, like, we're going there to compete, and he's saying, like, well, I guess we all didn't have that same idea, meaning, okay, we didn't get that third co-star to battle against the Miami Heat like we were supposed to do. So I came here because we had an idea. We're going to get Stoudemire. We're going to get Chris Paul, and I'm going to be that third wheel. So Chris Paul, Melo, is it?
Yeah, it's cutting out.
Your mic was cutting in and out.
Oh, gee, hold up, man. We're getting a little dangerous. Hold on. Go ahead. Go to Big Red. Go to Big Red. Let me tweak some stuff out.
Big Red. Yeah. Your thoughts on that, man?
What I was about to say, and I was just thinking about it, hearing Melo talk again.
Mm-hmm.
Now it may be true. Now that I'm thinking about LeBron, and I give him props for this, and some people may go against it. LeBron is a social media strategist, and what I mean by this is, maybe LeBron was trying to cultivate his image very early, knowing how people already looked at Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and all these other people who won championships. He said, I got to do the same thing. And I got to go the easy route, or the easiest route I can possibly go, and team up with some other teammates, some superstars. And maybe he was thinking that very early. Maybe he was thinking that when he was 18. Once I get here and I can find some teammates to go up with, and I can cultivate my image as being the GOAT, the greatest player of all time, by winning so many championships and getting my stats up high that no one can be able to question that I'm better than Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Then that also is going to bring in the money. That's going to bring in endorsements. That's going to make me a future billionaire. Now, he didn't do that, I wouldn't say. But it is debatable amongst a lot of people, depending on, based on what he did going from Cleveland to Miami, and then Cleveland again, and then LA, because we know why I think the move he went to LA. I don't think it was because of championships. I think it was the cultivated image, be out there in Hollywood, rub elbows with the stars out there. That's the cultivated image. That's to build his brand up. I think LeBron may have been about his brand very early coming out of high school. And so it is maybe a possibility he had this conversation with Carmelo. He was thinking very early about the end game early in his career, possibly.
Yeah, no, I definitely think LeBron has him and his team have always thought out the long game, and how things would play out down the road, how they'd be perceived by history, what they need to do to be perceived in the way that they wanted to by history, et cetera, et cetera. And I definitely think that I agree with you in terms of him and this the long game. So I definitely feel you on that. But
look at how he set up his boy. He set up his boy, went to college. He knew what he was going to do. Run Clutch Sports, be an agent for athletes. He knew that very early on. So that could be a possibility that he knew how he was going to, go to a super team at some point early in his career.
Yeah, no, I agree. The only thing that I don't get is that, does he really think that people who know the game and people who are longtime NBA fans don't see a difference in the way that he's gone about it and the way that Magic and Bird and Jordan and Isaiah went about it? Does he really think that it's the same? Because
I don't think he cares.
Yeah.
I think he think those people are going to die off.
Right. But I mean, I was just saying that because, you were saying how he he thought about it and he's thinking what those guys did and those guys won and he has to win too. And it's like cool, but you know, like they always say, there's levels to this, right? So yeah, it's cool that you won and you won 4 championships, but everybody knows that it's not the same. It's not the same. Like now Stockton never won a championship, so I'm sure the LeBron fans are gonna say, "Oh, he's just a jealous old head hater." But he had a very simple comment that he made, and he said something along the lines of, "Everybody else, you know, climbed to the top, and he took a helicopter up there."
Yeah,
You know, so it's
Damn.
not the same. Yeah, history will show that he's a 4-time champion. He's got more rings than Bird, but is it the same? It's not the same. You know what I mean? Transform, you good?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so,
But
man.
over here
Go ahead with your thoughts,
tweaking
man.
some things. No, to my point, what I was saying about Melo, from voicing what he was saying,
Mm-hmm.
he made the comment, I came to New York with the idea that we were going to have the team to battle Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And from what that sounded like, he was creating a team of his own, just like they did in Miami, because he had the thoughts of Stoudemire being there and Chris
Mm-hmm.
Paul being there. So
Okay.
I believe he thought he was creating his own big three because Miami had his big three. So and from what it seems like, because I mean, G broke the news to me that Chris Paul was supposed to be one of those additions to New York. I don't even remember that conversation being had, but apparently it was a
I don't
thing.
either.
But you know what I'm saying? He already had these plans as well, because you know Chris Paul is a part of that banana boat crew.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? So I mean, it seems like they all had the same mentality. You know what I mean? Like that entire draft class. You know, you had Wade and Bron, and you had Melo. Was like, okay, that's just too much. Me coming over there, because with Melo coming to Miami, Chris Bosh wasn't a part of that. Chris Bosh was not going to be on that team if Melo was to come. So I mean, instead of that big three, let me go to New York and create my own thing and do it up there. So I don't think it's just all he's pointing out the onus, like Bron, you know what I'm saying, had this super team idea. Melo did too, because that's the reason he went to New York with that same mindset.
No, I think that's fair. I hadn't thought about it that way. I'm actually looking at the article right now, looking it up. So I'm trying to think, how was that working? Was that the organization putting it together, or was that Anthony Stoudemire, Hornets point guard, Chris
Why
Paul?
was it rejected? I can't remember.
Oh, nah, they tried to do it too. Yeah. According to the article, it says Anthony Stoudemire and Hornets point guard Chris Paul even made a toast to one day forming their own big three, Miami Heat style.
Yeah.
At Melo's wedding. Okay, so they tried. Okay, there you go.
So they contemplate, man. So it's not like it was just a LeBron thing. It was, man, shoot. Let's team up. You know, let's do this thing. So that was that's what I heard from it. Knowing that, you know, Chris Paul was a part of that deal too. So thank AG. That was a big alley oop right there, bro.
Yeah,
and
that was a
tossed
big
that one
alley
up
oop.
for us, because I mean, I had no idea about that. And then
the question
what
is,
Melo
though,
saying made sense. Like, hey, I thought we all had the same thing, but when I got there, we
Uh-huh.
clearly wasn't on the same page. You know.
So the question for me then is, and I guess we didn't know because I don't think Melo addressed this. Was that something that they decided to do post LeBron doing it, or was that something they had? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, LeBron out here, he put this thing together. We got to try to do something to fight back, but I want to compete against him instead of, you know, lining up with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I guess that would be the question more so for me. Like, is
The
that
question
something
is,
that?
when was Melo's wedding?
I know, right? I think it was 2010.
He was still with Denver 2010, 2011 season. So he stayed with Denver, what, 4 seasons before he went to the Knicks? He was ninth season at the Knicks.
No, 7 seasons, right? If it was that much.
4, 5, 6, 7. I'm counting 8.
Came in what, 03, right? So
03, 04
yeah,
to 2010, 11. There's 8 seasons.
Okay, yeah. So he was there for a minute.
Nah, they got married in 2010.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
So
him
even
and
still,
Lala.
that's like 7 years, right? So you know
So
that's
they
still
had this conversation. So that all happened right at the same time.
The time when free agency was about to come in Denver. Yeah, in Denver.
Yeah.
So because Miami formed the big three in 2010.
Right, but remember that was in works for a minute though. I don't know. I guess it all depends on when it lined up, because I don't know. I see it more so like, I see it more so like, okay, LeBron and them did that, so Melo's like, okay, I got to do something to be able to compete as well. It's just, I don't know. The whole thing is just crazy. But the whole point of this segment anyway was I really enjoyed Melo kind of giving us a bit more of a behind the scenes look at how all of this, kind of came together, and what was going through his mind during this time. And then, of course, listening to this now also, allow G to go ahead and send us that article and give us some more information on more stuff that we didn't know about that.
Oh,
because
man,
all
big
I knew
alley-oop.
about, yeah, absolutely. All I knew about was Chris Paul getting blocked by the NBA from going to Los Angeles to play with Kobe. What was that? 09, right?
Yeah, I think so.
No, because we won the chip in 2010, so it was right after that. So it was like 2010.
Was it after that or prior to?
Yeah, so apparently, I mean, depending on when this article came out, and then that toast, Chris Paul was probably going to go to New York first before that Lakers thing happened, because we just won the title in 2010.
Yeah, right.
You remember, because we was trying to form the Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, Kobe trio. That was during that time that we got the veto.
Right. So this article was 2011.
Yeah. So this was supposed to happen prior to that.
Well, damn. You know what I'm drawing from
Chris
this?
Paul from the beginning, bro. They
right.
Like
he must have pissed somebody off in the league office.
Yeah, that's what I'm drawing from this. Chris Paul has the worst luck in history of an NBA player, because how many times has he been on a championship contender or been near to get on a championship contender, and he still don't have a chip?
Still don't.
Yeah. He could have been with the Knicks, big three. He could have been with the Lakers as a big three. He's been with big threes with I guess the Clippers at one point.
Mm-hmm.
The Suns.
We had Devin Booker and the Ayton.
Yeah.
So that was the big three there.
You want to call Ayton a big three?
Yeah, that was a 2.5. I said 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
He's halfway there. He plays halfway during the playoffs, but he's been on. He went to the finals. He's had potential.
Wasn't he with Harden and Dwight Howard in Houston too?
Yeah.
I don't think it was Dwight Howard, was it though? I thought it was just him and Harden.
Dwight Howard was with Harden, but he did go to
he
did play with James Harden though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's got the worst luck of an NBA player, man. Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris big alley, bro. That's a boy.
Yeah, that was some good information,
that's
man.
some great information. He loved the Knicks. He probably the only person that know that information.
Right. Well, he was a Knicks fan because of Melo. That's what that was.
I'm not gonna lie. You played me in NBA 2K back when Melo was on the Knicks. I'm burning you. I'm dusting you by 20. I'm killing you.
I feel that. All right, but all right. So we definitely got some good information here. We learned some stuff. We heard some good stuff from Melo. So we're gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna open up the phone line one more time: 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. I'd love to hear your thoughts on LeBron and how early he was trying to set up super teams, and what you think of Melo's attitude towards that, and what you think of Melo then trying to form his own super team to try to combat LeBron in the East when LeBron was in Miami. Just general thoughts on this whole attitude. 904-219-8264. I'd love to hear from you. Let's get it. Yeah, that was crazy, man. But I mean, it just goes to show, like, look at what LeBron created, like the type of turmoil he created in the league, and just all because he didn't want to compete. Like, that's just insane to me. I don't get it. You're that good. You're supposed to be that guy. Why are you running and ducking competition so much? That's my thing.
I wonder if, AAU ball kind of destroyed that too. And I kind of think maybe the people that grew up watching the Dream Team in 92 saw how all the players could play together and make it work. I wonder if the younger players wanted to do that as they got older. Michael Jordan, Magic, and them, they didn't have a dream team to watch it, when they were growing up.
That's true. That's right. Great point.
AAU definitely, I think, played a huge part of it.
I think so too.
You got to play together. You all get to play together coming up, and you're like, damn, man, I wish we could have. We could play together here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at the Villanova Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, them boys play together at AAU. They play together in Villanova. And now we all on the Knicks. You know,
I don't know how they pulled that off.
That's crazy. I think that's a little different because obviously them dudes won 2 championships together in college, so they're tight like that. Quick note: Miami was not a super team. Definitely overrated. Caps was better. Nino, nah, man. Miami was definitely a super team because the year prior to LeBron getting there, Dwayne Wade was All NBA first team, led the league in scoring. And Chris Bosh, I believe, was All NBA second team. He was like a 24-11 guy up in Toronto. That was definitely a super team. And super team is generally like having 3 superstars all in their prime. So yeah, that was definitely a super team. I gotta disagree with you on that, Nino.
We putting Chris Bosh as a superstar.
At that time, he was dominating in Miami. If you're talking about superstar in terms of Toronto, thank you. If you're talking about superstar in terms of like that off the court kind of image / impact, then no. But if you're talking about as a player, right?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then Tim Duncan was never a superstar, and we know that's not the case, right? That would be my argument.
What's your definition of a super team? What would you call a super team?
I mean, 2 superstars and a high valued all-star. When you got a combo of 3 like that, then I think you definitely got 3 guys that could definitely on their own squads take it to a championship.
Okay. I would say a super team, my definition is 3 players who are top 5 at their position that come together on one team.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Nino, what you got, man?
I'm trying. I was just calling so that y'all can explain to me what he just did. What I'm trying to get the definition of super team.
Well,
so that's what we're saying.
I think Big Red gave the best definition. Is you got 3 guys that are top 5 at their position. I was saying 3 guys all in their prime who are, elite players. But I think Big Red's definition is pretty solid. You got 3 guys on one team or more, obviously, that are top 5 in their position. I think that's fair.
But as a basketball team, I think so. Chris Bosh was top 5. What position was he?
Power forward.
Mm-hmm.
He probably was top.
He was. Yeah, he was all NBA second team.
He definitely was a hooper.
He was balling up in Toronto.
Yeah, he was a hooper. But when I think of team, I think where I'm going with the Heat was I didn't like it in the first place. I was rooting for LeBron. But when you went over there, I'm like, so when Melo breaking this thing down, it made sense to me because I'm like, nobody would have thought that Bron and Wade was a perfect fit to play on the same team.
Right.
They do the same thing. They need the same space. They both need the ball. Well, that's what Bron learned to play off the ball. The little bit he did.
No, it's not. That's when D Wade had to take a step back to allow LeBron to do what he does.
LeBron took over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, D Wade to tell you that.
Bron played off the ball too. He didn't
in the first season, and that's when Wade said, "Bro, run the team."
Yeah.
LeBron took it over from there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Bron was pretty much the de facto point guard.
I'm saying because they had that little play. You remember that play you used to do if Wade drives, Bron knew how to cut to the best. Now I'm not saying Bron didn't have the ball in his hand. Like y'all said the first season, but Bron didn't know how to play his ball at all. I'm not sure Wade knew how to play off the ball at all. That's what I think cost him the championship. I always said that. Dallas went to that soft zone. If you look at every time they had the ball, if Bron got the ball, Wade man in the middle of the court, because they ain't worried about him shooting. When Wade got the ball, Bron man in the middle of the court, they ain't worried about him shooting. That's why the next season they went and got. Okay, if you want to say the second Miami Heat team was a super team, I'll be like okay, because it was a team. They went and got shooters, and they had a scheme. That's what they were running. The first year, I think they would get so good individually that okay, they made it. The Cavs, when you got Kyrie, Bron, Kevin Love, then you got Tristan Thompson in the paint, and who I'm missing? And J.R. Smith and Shump.
Mm-hmm.
That's more. And they had depth too. That's what made the Warriors good. See, the Warriors had a starting 5, But it wasn't just the starting five. It's when they starting five come out in the bench playing, they bench gonna outplay your bench.
Right.
When the Lakers won the second time with Paul Gasol and Bynum was doing his thing. When they went off the floor and Shannon Brown and them finally got right, they outplayed your bench. That's why I call just great team. Now Shaq and Kobe, that was just different.
Yeah.
Now I want to leave y'all on this. I'm not the biggest Kobe. I ain't gonna act like this. But do y'all think it's a conspiracy? Was a conspiracy for Kobe not to get his 6th ring? Because how do they not let Chris Paul go play with Kobe? Kobe went. That's why I don't feel bad for Bron. I mean, I understand Bron moving because they wasted so many years of Kobe in his prime when he had all the stats in the MVP. Supposed to have MVPs, they were robbing him, and he had all the stats in score. He didn't have no team. He was out there playing with Bush Parker.
No, I don't.
They wasted a lot.
If anybody got the worst luck, if they was blackballing anybody, it was Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. Yeah. Yes.
Hey,
I don't know.
You blocked me twice.
Yeah, he pissed off somebody in the league office, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, they blocked me. It was crazy.
Well, I would have to ask, why would they block Kobe from winning the 6th championship?
I don't know what you would have to gain from that. I think that would be a marketing coup for the league.
Yeah.
Well,
Jordan and Kobe.
I don't like to go here, but Kobe was he is the player. You hear a lot of players say Kobe this, because even Bron, they know how good Kobe was. But Kobe got in a little trouble,
right?
That kind of kept him to being what he's supposed to be. Everybody know Kobe was supposed to be the next Mike and right there. He's supposed to have the lead, which he did have the lead as far as the players. But Kobe's supposed to be the most marketable anything. But they wasn't trying to give Kobe that.
Right.
No,
but that scandal happened before he won multiple championships.
Yeah, the other 2 championships.
Yeah, that was
he went to the finals 3 times. So I don't see how blackballing after he won 2 more championships would even benefit.
Yeah. But see, Kobe, let's go here, though. Let's go here. Kobe won them 3, but even you got to think about what Kobe did. Kobe wasn't even comfortable with them 3. Kobe like Bron, but he wanted to be like Mike too. He wasn't getting the credit.
Right.
Kobe like, hey, we gotta get Shaq up out of here, dog.
Yeah.
People think it was because Shaq was lazy. It was that too, but Kobe was trying to, hey, listen, I need to run this team. I need to be the man. They need to be saying I won. Shaq was a cheat code. Y'all know Shaq was a cheat code.
Yeah, he was. But all right, Nino, man, we about to go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. Thanks so much for your call. I appreciate you as always.
I could kind of see some.
I
can kind of see some parallels of what he's saying a little bit. I just thought about, how Kobe wanted to be. He wanted to be better than Mike. Of course, he emulated a lot of things that Mike did. And then I look at what happened with Chris Brown. And he emulates so much of what Michael Jackson does. And then, his thing happened with Rihanna. And then that he never quite got to be what I thought he could have been. He could have been, I think, more famous than Mike. Maybe, possibly, maybe not. But, he's still famous in his own right. Kobe's still famous in his own right. But he never got to the stratosphere of Michael Jackson. I don't think Kobe ever got to the stratosphere of Michael Jordan. He kind of got there now because of his death. His early death, I would say, but in life, I would never say he's gotten close to Michael Jordan. And the same thing with Chris Brown with Michael Jackson. So I can see some parallels.
Because if he was to say, and if you add that, like, okay, if we let Chris Paul go to the Lakers and Kobe wins another 1 or 2 championships, that puts him at 6 and 7. And so now, we lose the whole Michael thing. I mean, not say we lose the whole Michael thing, but now it's like, now we're considering you the greatest of all time with a whole freaking not scandal. But, which you had on scandal on your report. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's so now we gotta continue to market that forever. That
that's a great point. Because that's
always been like, Shaq got you those first 3, so we don't count all those championships.
So we're only gonna count 4.
Yeah. All right. I guess we can leave it right there. This has been a good one. It's a long one, but great show. gentlemen, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody who came out to watch. I appreciate everybody who listened to the show. And y'all know already that we got another show Saturday night, 7 p.m. So yeah, just I don't know if I'm gonna drop anything else in between now and then. I'll probably cut this show up so that you can have the each topic as a separate episode. That's probably what I'll go ahead and do. I don't know if I'm gonna drop anything new, but if something crazy happens in the sports world, I will do that. But again, thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I guess that's it. We out. Peace.
Peace. Hey, big shout out, G. G with the dime of the day.
Facts.
That was a dime, G.
All right,
that was
y'all.
hidden history. That was something Kyrie would have told about the African slaves that no one knew about. And then we got canceled the next day.